My spidey sense are tingling because we have some serious bad guys on this list. Everything from Spider-Man that are evil but mindless to spider deities that control and rule all of the Spider-Men in the multiverse. Here are the 10 most evil versions of the Spider-Man. Let's dive right into it, shall we? Number 10. Ghost Spider-Man. We're starting off this list with the Ghost Spider-Man or Ghost Spider-Man. We're starting off this list with the Ghost Spider or Ghost Spider-Man. He's just another version of Peter Parker across the multiverse, specifically Earth 11638. And it all started off perfectly. You see, in this universe, Peter Parker's Uncle Ben didn't die. In fact, he even helped his nephew train and utilize his new superpowers for good. Everything was going so great that Peter Parker even became a rich scientist that opened his own conglomerate that he named Parker Technologies. But this version of Peter Parker used his wealth and power for evil. He built a portal and brought Spider-Man from all over the universe to absorb their powers. This was going on until Peter Parker brought Spider-Man from Earth 616. He didn't manage to absorb his powers and was sent in a coma instead. His soul went to hell, and rightfully so. But then Dr. Banner brought him back, and instead of being the usual Spider-Man, his soul became infused with those of the repentant damned, which turned him into Ghost Spider. Number 9. Patient Zero. Another interesting Spidey character comes to us from Earth 11080, and this version of Spider-Man emerged after the Punisher released a foreign chemical survivor 118 into the air. It was intended to aid people in accommodating the world after the apocalypse, but everything didn't go according to plan. The first person whose DNA got altered by the chemical was Spider-Man. The signs became evident when he actually ate the rhino. After that, the Fantastic Four locked him up in a cage and performed a series of tests to see what was the problem with the benevolent spider. They later found out that Peter Parker's DNA got altered by a strange virus. But it was already too late. By the time they uncovered the cause, almost all of New York City was affected and the virus kept spreading throughout the rest of the world. Because Spider-Man was the first person infected, they called this evil version of him Patient Zero. If you want to see which evil Spider-Man version was created by Magnus during Infinity War, then just keep on watching until pick number 6. Number 8. Pestilence. This version of Spider-Man comes to us from Earth 5701. There, Apocalypse becomes really powerful and he's hatching a plan for world domination. After all, this is an alternate universe, so everything is possible. Anyways, Apocalypse chose Peter Parker and 3 other superheroes to be his horsemen that would help him achieve his plan for world conquest. He corrupted them, and that's how Spider-Man became Apocalypse's horseman, known as Pestilence. Because of this corruption, Peter grew a pair of extra arms and legs, which made him actually look like a spider. And Pestilence had encounters with Deadpool, Cannonball, and Serum when they were searching for Cable. A battle broke out immediately after locking eyes, and even though Pestilence was not alone, he was accompanied by Archangel and Famine, they were still defeated by the heroes. Before we talk about who and what Pestilence is, don't forget to smash that like button. It keeps the almighty YouTube algorithm happy, and you keep getting these videos for free. Number 7. Man-Spider. Apparently, this is the final form of Spider-Man. If Dr. Kurt Connors is correct, then Peter Parker's superpowers are going to keep on evolving. Him being able to shoot cobwebs from his wrists are only the start of the radioactive evolution. In the final stage, Spider-Man will actually become unrecognizable. Because Peter Parker became scared, he sought the help of Dr. Mariah Crawford to help him deal with his condition. But the therapy she thought would cure him only sped up the evolution process. In no time, Peter Parker grew 4 extra extremities, and now he had 4 arms and 4 legs, just like a spider. His head morphed and changed until he finally resembled nothing like the Spider-Man we knew and loved, and that's not the worst part. This version was not just monstrous, but it was monstrously evil as well. Number 6. Doppelganger Spider-Man.
More pain! My son!
Doppelganger Spider-Man was just another one of Magnus' creations during a conflict known as the Infinity War. This was possible because of anthropomorphos and bodies which Magnus acquired during the same conflict, and Spider-Man's doppelganger was just one of the versions he created. This 6-armed creature was evil, it was mindless, and it was under the control of Magnus. Now, even though Doppelganger got killed by Hobgoblin at the start, he was then brought back to life by Demigoblin. Number 5. PATTON PARNEL. Coming to us straight from Earth 51412, PATTON PARNEL was an abused young man who lived with his uncle. Being tortured by the man he lived with, PATTON became intrigued in animal experimentation from a young age. Oh, and he also spied on his female neighbor, Sarah Jane. He was probably in love with her secretly. During a trip to Alcorp Industries, Sarah Jane approached Patton and asked him to help her expose the corporation's evil experimentation on animals. Inside the laboratory, Patton didn't want to help her free the animals. He just got intrigued by a big red spider in the lab. As he got close, the spider jumped up and bit him, after which security dragged Patton out and sent him home. There, he started showing his first symptoms of the sickness. He first ate a mouse, then a cat, and then went to the school to exact his revenge on a former bully. If you stick with us until the end, you'll see who and what the spider deity is, so just keep on watching. Number 4. Superior Spider-Man. The Superior Spider-Man came to comic books after the 700th Spider-Man comic book titled Dying Wish, in which Peter Parker actually died. Otto Octavius, also known as Dr. Octopus, used his genius to implant his own brain into the body of Peter Parker. He did this because he wanted to prove he would be a superior Spider-Man by being a better superhero and a better person than Peter Parker ever could. At first, it was going well. Superior Spider-Man defeated the Sinister Six and became really popular. But later, he turned evil and problems arose as a consequence of Parker's consciousness still being active. Number 3. Zombie Spider-Man. Just like the infamous zombie apocalypse on Earth 616, it's assumed that Zombie Spider-Man from Earth 2149 was created in the same way. He helped the Avengers defeat Ash Williams. He wrapped his body in cobwebs and carried him away. During the trip, Ash told him about a zombie sentry. This zombie sentry bit and infected Colonel America, Black Widow, Mr. Marvel, Luke Cage, and Hawkeye, who were on the ground. And just as they were swinging across NYC, Colonel American jumped up and bit Spider-Man, turning him into a mindless zombie. Number 2. Venom, Symbiote Spider-Man.
Never wound.
This is one of the most popular evil versions of Spider-Man, and aside from appearing in the comics, the 2007 movie Spider-Man 3, Venom even got his very own movie starring Tom Hardy. Now, from the comics, we know that there are two symbiotes, Venom and Carnage, one of which is black and the other one red. Speaking of which, this second one is gonna be appearing in the second Venom movie. Number 1. The Other. Finally, we come to the most powerful and evilest version of Spider-Man that has ever existed, and it's called The Other. It's a powerful, totemic spider deity that's behind every Spider-Man in every version of Earth on the planet. Some call him the Web of Life and Destiny, and it has the power to contact and talk to any Spider-Man in the universe. The Other calls these Spider-Man receptacles, and they have increased powers. And whenever they become enraged or sense that they're close to death, the receptacles turn into humanoid spider monsters. Peter Parker is the receptacle on Earth 616, but he managed to suppress this demonic voice deep inside his subconscious. However, even Peter couldn't keep the Other at bay, and he met with it after the encounter with Inheritor Morlun. On a related note, we wanted to know which of these evil Spider-Man is your absolute favorite. You can tell us in the comment section below. If you'd like to see more videos like these, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon so you never miss any of them. And as always, thanks for watching, guys.